What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I will be talking about, is it really worth it? Is getting to that level of leanness that is portrayed on social media by so many fitness influencers and popular people, is that really worth it? And the drawbacks to getting to that point. I think oftentimes we see, I've been victim of this too. I see all these people on social media, like super shredded, lean, and I'm like, oh, I want to look like that. One, my body is not the same as theirs. So every body is different shape, different length of muscle tissue, different ability to build muscle. Anyway, point being, everybody is different, but also, what does it take to get to that level of leanness, and is it actually worth it? So, but before we dig in, I just wanted to thank you for listening to the show. If you've been enjoying the show, if you could rate it, subscribe, share it, that just helps me help more people, which is the goal of this show. So let's dig in. Is this level of leanness really worth it? Usually the answer is no, but let me explain why. So, number one, I really think social media has destroyed health and fitness. It has provided a lot of value in that, like, there's a lot more information out there for people to find. There's also a lot more crappy information out there to be found. And usually, as I've talked about a lot, what is popular are the extremes. It is not health. Health is not popular. Being like super jacked and shredded and super lean, that's what is really popular. So that's what gets the most attention, and that's what gets the most views. That's what most people see. And so social media portrays health, I'm using air quotes if you're not watching the video, health as being like extremely jacked and lean, which oftentimes a lot of the people that are super jacked and lean, they have a really unhealthy relationship with food and exercise, and they're oftentimes not actually healthy because partly that relationship, but two, they will sacrifice their health in order to get to that point. And what people don't understand is to get to that level of leanness and jacked and to that body composition, that's basically your job. You have to sacrifice date nights, going out for drinks once a month, having birthday cake at your kid's party. You probably have to bring Tupperware to family events and gatherings or not go. The amount of time you spend exercising is basically probably your job. They're probably on some type of steroid or peptide or something. They might even be editing their photos too. That might not even be what they actually look like in normal lighting day to day without electronic assistance. So it really isn't worth it. It requires an insane amount of discipline, sacrifices of quality of life. You want to get a donut on Saturday? Too bad. No donut for you. Your donut does not fit your macros. And then, if you ever do get to that level of leanness, you will forever have hopefully not forever, but it will disrupt your own self-image. And I say that because I've been really lean. Not healthy, but I was, honestly, I don't know, but I was very lean. I've done a DEXA scan once, and I'm not a fan of them. I don't know if I ever did a podcast on this. This might be the next episode, but I don't like DEXA scans because it made me more uncomfortable with my body than I was before. I thought I was pretty healthy, and honestly, I was pretty healthy. I mean, I did have gut health issues. This was pre my current coach. So this was super stressed Emma, it's probably like 31% body fat, which is not bad. That's all in all kind of a healthy range, but I thought I was a lot less fat than that, I guess. I had less body fat than that, so that really screwed with my mental image. Same thing. When you get to an unhealthy level of lean, you will forever compare yourself to that body. But probably when you had that body, you probably also thought, I don't think I look very good, because at least that was me. I never thought I looked very good. Disordered body image issues. But even if you do get down to that level of lean, you will forever compare yourself to that level of lean and forever be disappointed in how you look. Hopefully not forever. And there's some people who can do this. Some people and the bodybuilding space in general is pretty disordered, unfortunately. But there are some bodybuilders who have a pretty healthy relationship with it. And for them, it's just a discipline and a sport that they like to compete in. And it doesn't affect their headspace around how they look. But personally, I know if I got to that level of leanness, it would be really hard for me day to day, because I would always compare myself to that. And I would always think I didn't look as good, or I was fatter or fat, even if I'm not fat. So, and I still struggle with this. Like, I still look at myself, and honestly, like, this is probably the healthiest I've ever been, body composition wise, and like not too lean, but pretty lean, gut health wise, hormonal wise. But I still don't like the way that I look. And I think it's because I was smaller, like physically smaller. I didn't have as much muscle as I do now, but I was physically smaller. I was probably 15 pounds lighter than I am now. As I said, I have a lot more muscle now, probably at least 15 pounds more muscle. No, that's not realistic. Maybe 10 pounds more muscle, because I do have more body fat. Anyway, point being, getting to an extreme level of leanness is one, just in general, unrealistic for most people. The amount of discipline you need to have is crazy. Like, there's no 80-20. Like, usually most clients, I'm like, to get to where you want to be, 80-20 is the rule. But for that level of leanness, it is more like 99.5. But really, it's probably close to 100% of focus has to be on yourself and your body and your nutrition. So, yeah, it's not I don't feel like it today. It's like, no, doesn't matter. Every day, same thing, over and over and over again. And a lot of these people too, they have put a lot of time into training. They've probably been training for at least a decade. They probably don't have another full-time job. If they have kids, they probably have someone who helps take care of them. So if you compare, like, they fitness influence for their job. That is what they do for their day-to-day. So, one, they have an extra 8 hours a day than you probably do to do this thing. And two, that's all they do all the time. Or most of the time. So, it's not worth it, just in general, the amount of discipline that is required. And you can try it. I've had some clients who are like, I want to get to this level of lean. I will say, that is not what I do with my clients. I prioritize your health. I will get you to a healthy body composition for your body, but I will not get you to a bodybuilding stage. I will not get you crazy lean, because in order to do that, you do have to deprioritize your health to get there. And that's the other drawback. It's like, you're not going to be healthy when you're that level of lean. You will probably think about food 24/7 because you're probably starving. Your cognitive function is going to be worse. You will not be able to think as clearly because you do not have enough energy to do so. Your hormones are going to be off. probably going to have a lot of gut health issues as well, because that is really stressful on the body. And as I talked about in the last couple of episodes, how stress can impact your hormones and your gut health. And that's a physiological stress. If you're a female, you probably won't have a menstrual cycle. I certainly didn't when I was pretty lean. Performance is not going to be as good. So you're not going to be that strong in the gym, and it's not going to be as fun. If you like to do activities outside of the gym, good luck. You're going to be pretty gassed most of the time. Because, as I said, in order to maintain that level of leanness, you have to be eating a pretty low-calorie diet. And low-calorie depends on the amount of muscle mass that you have, but low enough to where your body is hungry all of the time. Your sleep probably is going to suck. It just probably will. The amount of stress that you're under, it's going to downregulate some hormone production. And really, I think all of these physiological things suck. But I think the worst part about getting to that level of lean is you probably can't ever go on a date night. Unless you're eating chicken and rice and broccoli. I'm kind of kidding. But no date nights. You can't really have birthday cake probably either. No donut. Probably going to be pretty hard for you to travel and go on vacations or trips if you want to maintain it. It's probably going to be pretty tough to enjoy like gatherings because you can't eat the food that's provided. And the reason I'm talking about this is give you guys a perspective. Like, it's probably not worth it for what you want. If everything you care about is how you look and your body image, that's another conversation, probably with a therapist, or Jesus. But it's not worth it. So, and most of my clients, like, when I tell them that, or we look at the person they want to look like, it's like, well, this is what is required to get to this point. It's probably not worth it. Is it fun to push every once in a while and kind of challenge yourself and be very disciplined and diligent? Yes, it is very fun. It's fun. It's a fun challenge. Like, I have a buddy right now. He's trying to get to basically as lean as he's ever been for his big birthday coming up. And that's kind of fun. He was in a cut for a while, and now he's building muscle and focusing on building muscle. And then he's going to go on to do one more cut before the big birthday. And like, that's a fun push. But he's not going to try to maintain that. He's probably going to have some birthday cake and celebrate the progress that he's made. So, and again, it can be fun to challenge yourself, but also you have to remember, like, knowing yourself, getting to that level of leanness, would that screw with you mentally? Would you constantly be comparing yourself to that? And if so, like a reminder I give myself, when I was that lean, I had a terrible relationship with food and exercise. I was exercising at least once, usually twice a day. I think I was swimming 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week. I was running 2+ days a week. I was lifting 2 to 3 days a week. And I was walking, like going on really long walks all the time. So I was extremely active. I was eating only whole foods. I would never eat a donut. I would rarely have a beer. Ninja Creamies did not exist back then, so I would not have any ice cream. I would get stressed about going out to eat with family and friends, of the food available. It was really a miserable life. But I didn't have Jesus. I idolized my body getting a body to that level of leanness, and that became what my focus was. So, like, everything I did was to get to that point. And so, like I said, I would sacrifice, like, going out to eat with friends and family and social gatherings and stuff because I wasn't sure what food they would provide. That's kind of crazy. And now it's like not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it for my health. I didn't have a cycle. My health was not good. I'm pretty sure I had gut health issues, but I don't remember. And I would fast too. I would fast at least once a week. So there's like a lot of disordered behaviors in there. And not that fasting is bad, not that training intensely is bad, but doing it to look a certain way and beating yourself up for not doing it, that's not really healthy. So anyway, that's what it took me to get to that point. And as I said, not great quality of life. I'm in a lot better headspace now, but I will still compare myself to that. But I remind myself that when I was there, I was not in a great space, mentally, or even quality of life. So, if you do get to that level, you can remind yourself, if you're not there anymore, like, hey, I got to that level and these were the sacrifices I had to make. And at this point in my life, I'm not willing to do that. Because for me, my ultimate goal, which a lot of my clients' goals are to be healthy, right? And so if I'm sacrificing my health to look a certain way, that's a problem. So anyway, hopefully this episode was helpful and insightful. If this is something you're struggling with and you're like, hey, I did want to get down to that level of leanness, but now you help me realize like maybe that's not realistic and maybe that's not part of my goals, but I still have some room for improvement and I know I can build more muscle and lose some body fat to improve my health. And that's something I want your guidance on. Just shoot me a message. We could set up a time to chat. My Instagram is in my show notes, or you can also just book a discovery call. It's like a 50-minute chat and we'll just see if we're a good fit and see if my coaching is in the budget. And if not, no worries. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to help with that. Otherwise, if this was helpful and this was all you needed to make those changes and to reprioritize, recenter your goals, then just rate the show, share the show, subscribe. That just helps me help more people, which is the goal of this show. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.